teaching is that we have the child have some treats. They're going to walk around a little bit, ask the dog to follow them, and every now and then he's going to stop and bring his hands up to his chest, and when he does, the dog sits, and the dog gets a treat. So once the dog has learned that idea to follow and stop for the treat, then we start making it a little more interesting. So this time we're going to run a little bit, and we're going to let the dog get a little excited before he stops. So go ahead and run a little bit this time, Mason. And stop. Good. We'll come back and run back this way a little. Let's go. Dog's not entirely sure that the stage is going to hold up. So once we've got that happening, then what we want to do is we want to incorporate other family members. So at this point, we're going to have two children moving around a little bit, and then when we say freeze, we're going to freeze and stop. Now he's going to go to Mason because that's who's been giving him the treats, but once he sits, his sister's going to go over and she's going to give him a treat too, so that he stays put. Now we're going to go ahead and run a little bit and play a little bit and get crazy. And then we're going to freeze, and he'll get a treat from one person, and then he'll get a treat from the other person. And we could go ahead and we could add more family members until I have mom and dad playing, so that the dog learns to stay for longer and longer periods. He keeps going back to the original guy with the treats. He's no dummy. And so this is a really good exercise. You can teach this exercise to baby puppies, and you can teach it to big dogs, and they can all learn to stop and sit whenever somebody puts their hands up. And the reason we use that cue of putting your hands up and we don't use the word sit is that if a person is afraid of a dog and a dog comes running up to them, very often they're going to do that. They're going to bring their hands up and move back. And if your dog thinks that that's a signal to sit, then it's much more likely that when they run up to somebody who's afraid and they go like that, the dog's going to sit rather than jump on them. So this is a great exercise for kids. If you have little tiny children, you can leave the dog on leash and have them work with him as well. And so it's a great exercise to give the dog an off switch, so that the dog can learn to stop and not jump and not play too rough, and kids can have a little control over the situation. Thank you very much.